Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shauna from Created and Made, and today we're going to be taking a look at these board book journals. With these journals, you can take your alcohol inks and work directly on the pages of the journals. So let's check out how it works. Fun stuff ahead. Stay tuned. So if you spent any time working with alcohol inks, you know you generally cannot take your inks and work directly in your art journal. Reason being is that most art journals have porous pages, and that kind of paper, those kind of pages will just absorb the ink. Those inks will not move around and slide and glide like we're used to. Now, you can take additional steps, like I'll show you here, like gessoing the page, which I've done here, and I've alcohol inked over the top. Or another step would be, like I did here, is taking a background that you did on some other paper and gluing it into your journal, right? But if you don't want to take these additional steps and you want to be able to go right into your journal with your inks, I have found these chunky board books work great for that purpose. Now, these are board books. If you've ever had children, you're probably familiar with board books. They're books. Actually, here's an example of one that's I took from one of my kids. They're books like this one that usually for really small kids. They have super thick pages that are made of sturdy cardboard called paperboard. They normally have a laminated surface as well. Now, it is that laminated surface that makes these particular kind of books great for alcohol ink. Now, I found these available in 3 different sizes. The small one is the 5x5. This is a 5x8, I believe, and then an 8.5 by 11. These journals will usually have about 10 pages. Now that's pretty short for a typical journal, right? But these can be used as mini journals and can be great for working, like if you're working on a theme journal, or if you're doing a journal to focus or feature a medium or a product such as alcohol ink. So let's take a look at how we would work in these journals. Okay, before I show you guys a couple spreads, I just wanted to talk about a few pros and cons about working in these journals. Now, these have obviously been playing in a bit already. So one of the very first pros is what we've been discussing this whole time, is the versatility of being able to go directly into your journal with your inks and create your beautiful alcohol inked backgrounds right in your journal without having to take any additional steps, right? So that's a pretty big pro in my book. Now, additionally, although this is paperboard, so normally a porous substrate, this lamination I found holds up pretty well, so that these inks will move around and glide and blend like you would expect alcohol inks to do. Now, obviously, I'm not creating a masterpiece here. I'm just showing you guys how the inks move around in the journal pages. Now, additionally, because it is paperboard, you have the added flexibility of being able to go directly in with your heat tool, and you don't have to worry about the pages warping or melting like they might do with other plastic substrates that you would normally use with alcohol ink. Now, okay, so those are some of the pros. What are some of the cons? Now, the first one is it can be a pro, it can be a con. It depends on how you like to work, but we're used to alcohol inks sort of reactivating when you hit them with other alcohol ink or with blending solution, etc. But once these inks dry, they don't reactivate like you would expect them to, or like they would on other substrates. Now, that's because this will stain, right? And trying to reactivate it won't really get you back to white like you might be able to do on a plastic substrate. So for instance, you can get some reactivation, you can get some ink movement, but it's not nearly going to be what you would get on Yupo or craft plastic. Like, you can see some of that color moving around, but you can also see that it's pretty saturated stain there in the background. Now, This can be a pro because it allows you to do certain layering effects that you might not be able to do otherwise with alcohol inks, but it can be a con if you like the flexibility of being able to go back down to white and remove inks that you've already put on. Now, additionally, another pro of working in these books that you can kind of see it here is that, I mean, this is a paper. Essentially, it is paper, so you can over soak it. You can get some sort of soak through in the paper. Now, I find that this will generally happen in the spines and on the edges if you let the ink pool there, and I did let it pool here, so you can see some sort of seeping in to the other side. I mean, it hasn't gone through to this side, but if you let enough of the ink or the blending solution pool, it can soak through the pages. And I mean, that's not uncommon when working in journals. It's just something to keep in mind here. And finally, one of the things that I found was kind of a con of working in these journals is that, you know, I'm so used to working on a flat surface with alcohol ink because I'm usually working on a single sheet of paper. So it can take some finagling and getting used to having to clamp down the book and keep it semi-flat so that you can make the inks do what you want them to do instead of them just kind of rolling all over the place. So just something to get used to, something to keep in mind. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put this on fast forward and do a couple of quick spreads in this journal so that you can see some examples of how you can work with them, and I'll be back at the end. So that was fun, and I really liked how quickly and easily these pages came together after I did my alcohol inked backgrounds. So here's a close-up of the butterfly one with the, this is even alcohol ink that I did on some photo paper, and I cut the die cut out on my Sizzix. And here's the one with the little birds. I like how this one came out as well. And you guys didn't see me make this one because I didn't really like how it turned out, but I also used some alcohol ink here in the background and some die cuts over the top. So this mini journal is really easy to work in, and I hope you guys got your creative juices flowing. I hope you've been inspired, and if you're interested in these journals, I will leave a link to them in the description below. So if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you guys next time. Have a creative day. Bye bye.